Stage Whale, your regular fix for movies and mayhem. This is episode 49. On today's chat, we fall into serious subjects that shock, but still add some levity where it is appropriate, and definitely where it is not appropriate.
We're recording, this would normally be a Thursday episode, but we're going to bring this out early on Monday. It's got some news in it, and we'll hold off the Thursday one for next Thursday, which is going to be a spoiler special. So stay tuned for in a few days' time. We're going to do a spoiler special for Deadpool, and we're going to talk about all the things that you shouldn't be talking about. So make sure you've watched it before you listen. Otherwise, don't blame us. Plenty of warning, and we'll title it that way. So before we even start properly, is James even there? I think he's logged out to get himself into landscape mode. There he is. That's better. It means I can cut clips together, because if I do any clips like in portrait mode, you're like zoomed to fuck and like zooming into your eyeballs.
Can you just crop out the weird? Can you crop out the weird grey tent and scary door behind me?
And the weird face and the blue t-shirt that's in it.
Right. There's a reason I'm wearing my t-shirt, and there's a reason there's a vinyl in the background. Did any of you guys see, apart from the controversial parts, did you guys see the opening to the French Olympics?
What, when they recreated the
that's the other thing
with fat people? Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't think it was fat people that was the problem.
No, they were fat.
I heard that there was some cool. I heard there was some cool free running across the rooftops
it was
when
just
they were holding the torch.
They did some wokey nonsense, and it's like, yawn, move on.
No, it was opposite to woke. It was
Gluttonous.
No, what's the word? Badly done. There's been a lot of
it was just crap.
This is not the point. My t-shirt's not about fat gay people. That's for sure.
I didn't say gay.
The opposite
I
to
didn't say
woke
gay.
is
I just said fat.
What's my t-shirt about? And you started going on about the Last Supper. So yeah, we'll mention it since you brought it up. But yeah, the French Olympics, Last Supper. It was drag queens, and it was a pro-gay thing. And I don't know why it was Christian, but everyone's banging off.
No one cares.
Yeah, but that's the point. Everyone's banging on about being anti-Christian. Who gives a shit?
But no one cares if someone's gay anymore. Like, get on with it. No
one
cares.
But the point is that actually, I thought it was really horrible that all these people coming out like, oh, bloody Christians, get back in your box. It was just a bit of fun, whatever.
Whoa.
But there's been a lot of gay people coming out saying that set us back because being gay is normal, and you've put a stereotype from 20 years ago what gay people are like, men in dresses, looking silly. So
I'm not being funny, but you've seen any Pride March? Who cares? Yeah. Everyone's be what you want to be, get on with your life, and just, I don't care. As long as you're happy, whatever. More importantly, this is more shocking about the Olympics. Do you know how much a ticket costs? Just a ticket, not travel, not accommodation, to watch the swimming?
No.
£400.
You need to be a determined predator to want to watch little people in swimming costumes in water.
They're not midgets, they're full grown adults.
Little people. I didn't mean to say little people.
Well, in tight
it's not a Paralympics. But can you imagine that? But imagine if you're an Olympic swimmer, Kev, and your family want to go. They don't even get like friends and family tickets. They have to
just
all pay 400 quid. So what's happening is they're calling it the flop, because all the hotels that thought they were going to be super busy, people now just works out they can just go over for the day, get a ticket over there, and then come back. So all these hotels that thought they'd be super packed,
yeah,
oh shit! But 400 quid just to watch an event.
I saw a person on social media where they went. This is what you see.
Euros about 20 years, Drew.
Euros, yeah.
This is what people see on social media. It's got all the explosions and all the crazy stuff happening, and then it cuts to where he's standing. He's standing the other side of a river, and they paid like 600 quid for a ticket for the opening ceremony. And it's basically there's like 10 fireworks, there's nothing happening for hours, and then there's someone going past on a boat. They're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, those people are knobs. Snoop Dogg all the way. Carried the torch, didn't he?
Oh yeah, and he did his little crip walk as well with it.
Have you seen that someone like edited it into like a big spliff? That's quite funny.
Yeah, that's what it looks like anyway. Didn't take much editing.
What idiot pays that much money? They deserve to be scammed.
Right. So to go back to rewind 5 minutes ago, I'm wearing a T-shirt. Is that the right way round for you? Does that?
I don't know. My face is blocking it. Stand up.
Gojira.
What does it say? Gojira.
Gojira. And I can't believe none of you have mentioned it. So this vinyl in the background is the Gojira album Magma.
Why would you mention them?
Well, because they were the opening ceremony. They are the first.
I don't watch the opening ceremony. I want to watch sports.
Gojira were the first metal band ever to open the ceremony, and it was so cool. It was the bit, I don't know if you've seen it, where is it Mary Magdalene's head? No, that's wrong.
Careful, Kev.
In the box. What?
No, there's a woman, a headless
Brad
woman.
Pitt was there. It was Gwyneth
A
Paltrow.
headless woman who was killed in the French Revolution or whatever, and she's holding the head.
Mary Magdalene was around in Jesus.
Shut up! And it was the head singing. And it was the head going, and then it cuts and it pans out, and the whole castle's on fire, and it's Gojira going, and they're playing the French Revolution song, but metal style, going.
And then Celine Dion showed up. So it went from Gojira to Celine Dion.
Did Celine Dion sound? Oh yeah, Celine Dion came afterwards.
Yeah, she did. Yeah. No, I don't watch opening ceremonies. It's a load of rubbish.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch that crap. I want to see the actual sports where we're winning some gold medals. Hey.
Give a shit about it. Gojira played. That's all I'm interested in. Gojira
we're
played.
really good. Why are the British really good at sports where we're on something?
It's not Shakira.
Like if we're on a boat, if we're on a bike, if we're on a BMX, if we're on a horse, on a yacht, we're really good if we're on something.
A horse on a boat? On a horse.
Like there's horsey trot trot, jumpy splash pool. What's the other one? Shooty bang bang.
Punchy boff.
Giddy up, and then ride your bike.
Are you on about this equestrian thing where it's what's it called? The dancing horses?
It would be amazing if James was the commentator at the Olympics. Can you imagine? And he's like, and here we've got the old 3 boinky jumpy doodah. You'd be like,
dancing
pouncing about.
Here's the people with the long sticks.
bloke on a thing. He's been made a splash, done a little flippity flop.
Here's the strong guys that throw frisbees. You're like, what? Discuss.
Yeah. Here's the basketball. Shooter, swisher.
So what are we doing good at? What are we actually doing good at?
We won a medal in mountain biking.
We turned up.
Mountain biking. No, we're doing all right. We
always
got
a participation medal.
We got the 8-year-old participation.
I prefer the second week when it's the outdoor sports. I'm more of a track and field guy than the indoor stuff. Although I'm looking forward to breakdancing because that'd be quite interesting.
What?
That's new. That's new this year. Skateboarding was quite good earlier.
Is that a sport?
It's a skill though. Breakdancing
is as much of a sport as gymnastics.
No.
It is basically gymnastics.
What, breakdancing?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I used to breakdance, guys.
You know that the gymnastics floor routine includes breakdancing, right?
No.
Yeah. The men's floor routine, when they do that weird thing when they're on the floor and they flick their legs, like the windmill it's called, they all do that in their dance section of the floor.
Or the 8-step, yeah.
So I was wondering earlier, do any of the gymnastics team cross over to breakdancing? Because it's kind of the same thing.
That's definitely not.
No, it is. Have you seen modern breakdancing? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I get it's impressive. It's a talent. It's arguably
more athletic than 90% of sports.
I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying it's not cool. I'm saying, is it a sport? Sport, well, I suppose it's a competition. Sport is competing, I guess.
Well, you've got to look at it. It's like the floor routine. Look at it on the horse when they're on the horse thing, and they're spinning around it all the time. They're all doing the same thing. There's nothing new you can do. Like where the breakdancing, they can be doing backflips, flip, all sorts of stuff. The Japanese plate, you're going to clean up on it, but
freezes, moon.
Imagine if the dance competition was just a dance floor and everyone just had fun, and at the end they went, "Well done," and then moved on.
Kind of what I hope it would be, except they judge the best. Like a normal dance competition, people get like taps on the shoulder or something. Also, skateboarding was like that earlier. They were like just taking turns doing best trick and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, we bypassed something very important. Drew used to do breakdancing. Like what? What
Well, I
did you
used to
do?
do like, yeah, I used to do like, well,
Spinning around,
six step or 8 step, and I do like freezes.
upside down legs. Oh shit! Remember we did this squirrel thing? I forgot you did the upside down leg in the air.
Yeah, and
Down.
I did the same thing at Curry's, bro, because the manager was like, "Oh, can you do that freeze on top of the tumble dryers?" And we did it for the fucking LG poster because they were hoping we might win. And there's me on top of. Do you remember when they balanced all of the tumble dryers or washing machines?
I
Were you
don't
there
remember.
that day?
Probably not, because I
And then
think I
Dave,
would remember that.
and Dave, the manager, was like, "Oh, I saw you do something in the back room, a breakdance move of some sort." And I was like, yeah, I was just messing around." No, I like it. Can you do that up there?" What was like health and safety, mate? I mean, Jesus, like that's like 3 or 4 tumble dryers up in the air, and you want me to climb onto the highest one and do it? Yeah, we might win the competition that way. I was like, yeah, all right, but what if I break my neck?
The whole is it isn't it sport thing can be solved by one thing, by a sport that's currently in the Olympics.
Boxing.
3-on-3 basketball. That's legit not even a sport.
Well, it is a sport. It's
No,
basketball.
it's
Just
not a
there's less
competitive
people.
sport. Like it's not a thing. It's like they made it up for the Olympics.
Five-a-side football would be a sport as well.
What's
If it's
that
not a
thing
thing.
where they cross football and ping pong? Because that would be sick if that was in the Olympics.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Like foot pong. Foot pong?
Yeah, that's cool. But like,
Foot pong.
You're a foot pong.
but if you play, imagine putting 5-a-side football in the Olympics, but
Why
no
is-
professional players play.
Let's go
It's not
silly.
like a real thing, is it?
Let's do crazy snooker. You know, where you're like kicking the football into the holes.
But at
and
this
stuff.
point, if they're going to put 3-on-3 basketball, they might as well put swing ball in there.
Holy shit. Oh, no.
Kirby, because they've got basketball, right? Why bother with 3-on-3 basketball? It's not a sport, and it's from someone who loves basketball. It's not a real thing. It's something you play in the park with your mates.
Oh, I love Kirby.
Yeah, it's just stupid. Like it's just a dumb
I
thing.
bet kids don't even know what Kirby is. I feel like
Maybe not.
knocking on my next door neighbour to ask his old son to come out and play Kirby with me now.
Did you ever play One Touch, or is that the same as Kirby?
Don't say that after the sentence I
Totally
just
different
said.
game.
No, I know that sounded really wrong. But
Wait, quickly, you know what Kirby is, right? Just quickly.
What's One Touch? Do you know One Touch? Anyway.
Yes, football.
Yeah. Where you hit it against
Kirby
the wall.
is.
Do you know? Yeah, Drew. Do you know what Kirby is?
Do you have to hit the ball on the curb?
Yeah, and bounce it back. Normally a basketball.
Yeah, you stand on either side of the road and throw the ball to hit the curb.
You have to catch it, and then you take a jump.
And you can go in the middle and keep going.
And then doesn't the next person? Does the next person have to catch it, and then they got to do the same? And
the
like
ball does
you're all
not
behind
touch
each
your
other.
foot.
What?
The ball does not touch your foot.
No, I didn't say it touch your foot. I said you throw it, and then the person behind you.
One touch.
Yeah, no, I know, but I got confused.
That's what I'm saying. What's that snooker? Is that snooker? Is that what's it called? Yeah, darts.
No, man, no. I meant One Touch would be a fucking cool sport to have. Like, I remember how cool it was that if you had like loads of different countries competing, and you kick the ball against the wall, and you've only got one touch, and yeah,
it would be a better sport to watch than 3-on-3 basketball. I can tell you that for free.
There you go. And then also, do you remember bum slaps? Did you ever play?
Is this homeless people or is this?
No, it's part of mate. So what we had, it's called One Touch Bum Slaps, which actually that sounds horrendous.
Are you sure it's something like your scout leader did?
No.
His house burnt down.
Well, that was swing ball. And now that sounds really good as well. But that was, I've got to tell you that as well. Hang on. So one touch bum slaps. What would happen is, James is gone. It was too much.
This is not real.
This is just a confession tape.
This is real. This is real. So you kick the ball. Obviously, you get one touch. You smack it at the ball as hard as you can. Then the next person.
Just stop. Quick, pause. Does this story end in tears?
No, there was no tears were harmed during the making of this One Touch. Anyway, what happens is everyone, you have like lives as well. So say you have like 3 lives, and you kick the ball, and then if you can't kick it back and it hits the same wall that everyone else is hitting, you lose a life. If you lose 3 lives, basically you go against the wall and you have to bend down. And everyone, and this is brutal, everyone takes a shot of the ball at your ass. So like they kick it full pelt into your ass, and it's called bum slaps. It was abuse.
I remember the game didn't call it that though.
No, but so they'd all just line up the ball and they'd fucking boot it at your ass when you're just against the wall. Yeah, one touch.
Good.
One touch bump slaps.
It may need to be changed, but that sounds good.
And then swing ball, though, this is cool as fuck. Swing ball, when I was at Scouts or Cubs or whatever James said jokingly, but it is real. Swing ball was one of the coolest games ever. One of the guys would lie on the ground and he's got a ball, like a normal ball, and it's got like a little rope around it. And he keeps swinging it round in a circle, and you have to keep jumping, and the rope gets longer and longer. And when it gets you, it just fucking wraps around your legs and just takes you down.
So
and then if you get taken down, it's almost like dodgeball, but with a fucking massive umbilical cord attached to it. And then if you get taken down, then you become the person in the middle. But it's really fucking cool, man. It's really cool.
You just made me think of another Deadpool line that's got no spoilers in it. It's just a quip. I'm trying to think what it is. It's that guy that says something like, I've got something big and impressive to show you. It's like, Scoutmaster Kevin used to say that to me all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is every paedophile and pervert and sexual deviant in a movie called Kevin?
Oh, dude, yeah, man.
Seriously.
The little pervert minions called Kevin.
Yeah, watch any film. If there's a Kevin in it,
There's
it's not the handsome one.
There's something about Kevin or something.
Yeah,
that's something about. Oh shit!
Kevin.
Yeah, that is.
He wants to do a school.
We need to talk about Kevin. Yeah, you're right. That's awkward.
I've never seen it. Is it any good?
It is good.
Brilliant. It's dark as fuck.
Going
I
on to
watched a messed up film the other day.
Go on.
It was called something like The Great Emancipation of Robert Carmichael or something.
That sounds random for you.
Imagine Clockwork Orange, but worse.
On steroids.
It's shocking. It's not a good film. It's not a good film in the slightest. It's like shock value, but the last 20 minutes is pure Clockwork Orange violence, but worse.
Wow.
Do you know what the most upsetting thing I read today?
Well, I'm
to
not
be
going to say
specific,
I hope it's the same thing that I read.
In the last 10 minutes when you were banging on about stuff that I don't care about, fucking
rude
dressage.
No, we were talking about horsey giddy up.
Horsey dancy clip clop.
Off to the glue factory if you don't win gold.
It was like, when's the next? Because Cobra Kai's out. It's been out for a couple of weeks. First 5 episodes. Wait for the next 5. Do you know when the next 5 episodes are out?
Can we guess? I bet it's not for months.
September.
Right. Give me a week. Like how many weeks from now, or how many months from now, or how many years from now? Anything you
8
want.
weeks.
Drew, what did you say?
If you say 2025, I'm going to be fuming.
November.
2025.
August, September, October. 4 months away. We've got to wait for another 5 episodes. Are you fucking kidding me?
Kind of annoying, really. It's a bit cheap, isn't it?
Bastards.
Why do that? Do 1 a week, or bring it all out, or if you're doing a 5-5, do 5 and then
you know
give
why
it
they do it, don't you?
Tops.
Because in November we'll all watch the original 5 again.
Well, maybe not all 5. You've watched the 5th one to catch up.
The last couple, yeah.
I definitely.
I thought it was. I didn't think it. I think because it finished midway, I wasn't that psyched when it finished.
That's what she said.
Because it's kind of nothing much happens except it alludes to Thingy Bob coming back, doesn't it? Basically.
I mean, it's like
Crease comes back, which is
great.
a bad
We knew
name.
that was
I don't know how it's spelled and who he is.
Do you know what the most disturbing
I'm
thing
scared
I
of
was?
Crease. Who's Crease?
Your Crease?
The most disturbing thing I saw was, on a serious note, that piece of shit in Southport.
They shot the woman in the head.
No.
What are you on about?
You not read the news today?
No. What?
Some 17-year-old dude, right, went into a children's children's club group, like a Taylor Swift kind of like themed group
how
thing.
bad is going to be, and what country was it in?
Southport. It's in a couple of hours down the road, Kev. Southport, UK.
Oh, Southport.
Yes.
Yeah, just north of Liverpool, just north of Manchester.
Yeah, stabbed 8 people, children. Apparently 2 are dead now.
Southport. 2 children dead, 9 injured in knife attack in dance class.
Children.
Jesus.
He was 17.
That just took a turn.
The fuck?
What is wrong with this world? Every time I look at the news at the moment, it's like some sort of knife crime. It's like ridiculous.
The thing that's so sick is that, unfortunately, bad news sells more magazines, and that's why the majority of stuff that fills newspapers or the actual channels is sadly bad news.
Yeah,
you don't hear about
as well.
You don't hear about like a monkey that saved a parrot from drowning.
It's like Jake Gyllenhaal film Nightcrawler. Like, it's like fear sells. If it bleeds, it leads.
Yeah,
and it's horrible to think that way.
The thing is, though, that's not even something that many people know about, and I didn't knew about that. Like, there's also Google Bath, the place. Chemical attack, 2 in hospital today.
What? Acid in the face?
No, chemical attack, as in like Novichok stuff.
Chemical attack, 2 taken to hospital after incident.
What?
Sees people fall ill in city. Okay. Oh, when you say chemical, I thought you meant like acid in the face. Like
that's what I thought. Yeah.
But no, it's like a chemical which is like a fucking Batman villain let something off in a city centre and loads of people are affected. 2 people hospitalised.
Again, not many people know about it, but I think I go deep on the news every now and again.
I saw something on social media, and I don't know why. I think, you know how sometimes if you look at a video, the next video is similar ilk. So it
has, especially TikTok has that good algorithm.
Yeah, like I mean, it sounds horrible to say because it sounds like grotesque and voyeuristic, but the stuff I like looking at on social media outside of photography, music, news is interesting things or world stuff that happens. And I watched one where like fighting, like street fighting. I like fighting stuff, UFC and stuff like that. But when you see someone, yeah, but sometimes that goes on to someone gets smashed the fuck in the middle of a street. And,
I can't watch that.
And that is a bit. I'm starting to turn away from it now. But it turned to this person, and it was someone filming, and there was this. It wasn't like a young woman, like college, university age, like maybe 20-ish. Young woman walking towards the camera, and an older man went the opposite direction and stopped her and asked her for directions and held out. He was wearing, this is the critical part, it's in China, and he's got a face mask on. She doesn't. And he opens a map like that to say, where am I? And he walks off after she says, and she stumbles, and another woman approaches and goes, are you okay? Turns her around and starts walking her towards the man that showed her the map. Someone who was filming clocked what was going on, ran over, pushed the woman, grabbed the woman that was a bit stumbling, that was helping them, and pulled them away and shouted at them, and they fucked off. And it turns out this man puts a chemical in the map and flops it open so it affects their nasal airways and would knock them out. And the other woman was a proxy, so the two worked together. So the other woman would grab her and go, are you okay? I'll take you. And the two of them would abduct her. And this woman saw it and grabbed the woman and pulled them away and pushed them off and saved her life.
The thing is, though, when you see this stuff all over the world, you're like, it's not real. But when, like, it's literally round the corner from you, Kev, that happened. Like, the thing is, though, we are, as a country, we are very weak as far as, like, we're wet. Like, that video went around to that bloke, that copper, booting that guy in the head at the airport.
Yeah.
Ooh, in Manchester,
That was horrible, though.
Lawyer was like, oh, it's really bad. That lawyer now is running away with his tail between his legs because the full CCT have come out.
Yeah, but CCTV. Still, I get it. I saw the full thing. Did you see the thing in the head, right?
What thing?
Yep.
So there was one video came out of a police officer
in the face.
The guy is face down, handcuffed, can't do anything. He kicks him in the face and then he stamps on his head.
Yeah, I saw it.
He has now got a bleed on the brain, could die, he could whatever. But then a week later it came out the full story where the guy punches a woman police officer.
Yeah, broken nose, a face smashed.
And they're all violent. I don't give a fuck. They can be violent and going to be stabby. Once that police officer has got them on the floor secured in handcuffs, shut up. You've done your job.
Do you not think that video is going to make a few people think twice about doing something, though?
Mate, if I kick someone in the head, that's my anger. I'm not a professional. If he does it, he should lose his job. I don't care if his life wasn't in danger when he was subdued. His life was in danger prior to that. If he kicked him in the head during a fight, fine. All for you, mate. You saved your own life. The guy is subdued, handcuffed, lying down face ground on the floor, and he stamps on his head.
What made me laugh was
He should
after
be
today's
prosecuted.
incident, the comments that like the government were making and our leaders were like deeply saddened. Great, brilliant. Do you know what happens if you get caught with a locking knife in London, which is illegal, by the way?
Probably not much.
This happens. Ready? That. What
Yeah.
should happen, if you get caught with a locking knife, you should get instant 24 months in prison. Instant. Because you're out there with the intention to hurt someone.
Not always.
You're
A lot of people are there for protection, but
you're still a dangerous person
and stuff. Yeah, it's not as clear cut as that.
But they need to make it clear.
Parts of London,
like, have a law that is actually a law. Not like, oh, it's illegal. What happens if I break the law? Nothing. What's the point then?
Did you?
Great.
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a reminder to say we love and appreciate you all for listening to the podcast, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, as this really helps us continue to progress and improve the content and keeps us making these fun episodes for you guys. Oh, we're also on these things called Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us there too, as we share short, funny reels on the reg that you can share with friends if you like. Now, back to the mayhem.
Did you hear the story of Sonia Macy? Or Sonia Massey in America, the lady that she called police because she thought that there was some scary person like basically outside her house. She called the police and said, I think there's somebody like in my back garden, and I was quite scared. And then it ends up being that the police comes back into the house with her, and she's got a pot of boiling water. And the whole conversation, you can hear like the recorded videotape, and she basically says, I feel sorry for you or something, and she says something religious basically, and then he says, you get away from me with this blah blah blah, and then he shoots her 3 times in the head, or like once in the head and a couple in the body, but it gets worse than that.
America.
Yeah, this isn't America, right? It gets worse than that, and he says, and it's all recorded on his camera. And he says, I didn't want to get hit with that fucking boiling hot water. Copper? Yeah. Boiling hot water.
Fucked up over there,
so he's having a chat with a woman, there's boiling water in the background that she's not going to touch, and he shoots on the head.
Yeah, because he says that she thinks he was going to throw the boiling water at him. He says, I was in fear for my life. It gets worse than that. The 2 police come in that are trying to aid the lady who's supposedly still breathing. So the bullet might have just like skimmed or something. Yeah, and he says recordedly, don't worry about that, save those packages, that's a waste, it was a headshot. And it's like, and they're
unfortunately in America there's a lot of crazy people they give guns and give them a badge.
The problem that I've started to notice, so the theme I'm starting to notice now, which is frightening, is that if they're not vetting people that want to become police, you can get a lot of psychopaths, a lot of pent-up aggression, a lot of racists, all kinds of people are becoming police because they're just trying to tick a box.
What about that bloke in England that kidnapped and raped and murdered that woman?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, they need, and also that's why I think with Britain, I mean, we're by no means good at it, but we're probably a little bit better. I mean, we're low staffed and low numbers, but some people do get help to a degree, not enough obviously, but in America there's not even an option for that. Like a lot of these people that are criminals, they're not criminals, they either need mental health or they need a social worker, they need someone just to go and say, hey, what's up?
But
I think as soon as you commit that crime, mental case or not, you're done, you're off the street, you're finished, you're a danger. Goodbye.
Well, half the police officers in America should be getting gone. It's like that.
Not half. I mean, it's a very small percentage.
It's not about literally defunding the police. It's about putting money not to ammunition, but to care workers. The word defunding the police sounds negative. Why would you do that? That sounds ridiculous.
Well, America's a comedy show at the moment.
But if you
I'm on about over here, it's like more real.
Makes sense.
But we talked about long legs, right? For example, and you said about when people see horrendous things, they need to go to Simon and get psych evaluations. They should be doing psych evaluations for some of these police officers.
Do that for cops. NYPD ain't got the time to.
But see, and that's the problem,
activities.
though. I think exactly what you just said. Not just training them on firearms and things like that. It's like they need to know how to have human and empathetic elements of going, this is ridiculous. You're just giving a twat a gun, basically, and it's not on.
There's been loads of documentaries about it in the last couple of years where they look into the police officers in America and how they got the jobs, and half of them haven't even passed high school. And that's fine. You don't have to be the cleverest person, but you need to be trusted.
In the defense of that, they do have to go through training and all this stuff, and even a crazy person can get past things.
Yeah,
but I'm not talking about America. I don't care about America. They can do what they want. I'm talking
training
about
is, can you beat up a person and can you shoot them? The training is not, can you empathize and risk assess? If there's a man standing
there's
there
a few
with no
crazy
weapon,
ones you hear about.
shoot
But
in the
for
head.
every one crazy one you hear about like that, there's probably 1 million police officers that did something really good that day.
Did you see? Yeah, no. Look, I'm not putting police down. I think there is a lot of good police out there, absolutely, and they do a great job, and some of them go above and beyond, and that's incredible. But the problem is the ones that slip through the net that get to the news because they're doing horrendous things.
Yeah.
Did you see the footage?
It's against the program.
The two police officers beating the guy that was playing. He was busking in I don't know what country or area it was. There's a guy busking. If you type in YouTube, busker gets beaten up by police officers.
Yeah, but in their defense, was he really bad?
No, man. Ouch.
Justin Bieber.
No, he's
like
just
playing.
playing.
Hendrix, and they're big fans. So all right, he's getting a shoe in.
He's just playing, and they say something about, oh, you can't be here or something, and he's like, I've got one of those little placards to be able to play here. Or, I've been doing it for ages, my permit, whatever. And they say, we don't care, sort of thing. And then they go over to arrest him. And it all just basically escalates. And at one point, they're throwing his head into the thing, and his guitar gets broken, and his face is all smashed up, and he's bleeding. And they handcuff him and then sit on his chest, and he can't breathe.
Yeah, that's
and
not
it's
good.
like, and he's just saying,
forgetting all that, like, forget the rest of the world at the moment. I'm just talking about where we are right now, how mental it is. Just today, 8 children were attacked and 2 murdered for no reason. There was a chemical attack an hour down the road.
It's mental.
Weekend, there's 100,000 people waving waving England flag, which apparently you're not allowed to do anymore.
I mean, if a large bunch of people walk down the street wearing, and I know it's hypocritical, but if a bunch of people walk down my street with St. George flag, I'd be intimidated.
No, you hit the nail on the head.
You hit the nail on the head, Kev.
Stop.
It's not patriotic. It's.
You just hit the nail on the head. What if 100 people walk down your street waving a Palestinian flag?
Wouldn't care.
Exactly. That's the problem. Can you not see the issue?
Yeah. And the problem is, it's our issue. It's Britain's issue. It's not. I'm not concerned because I think less of people with a St. George's flag. If I go to someone's house, right? I don't really want to disclose what I do for a job, but I drive around a lot. I see lots of people's houses, and if
the hitman
I go to where there's a St. George's flag, I think scummer.
Isn't that terrible though? Where we are now, that is awful, isn't it? If they've got a Ukrainian flag or a Palestinian flag, you're like,
England hasn't got a huge amount to be proud of historically.
Yes, they do.
And what that flag means. Yeah, but where do you see that flag?
That flag's been butchered in the last 4 years.
Who's it connected with?
St. George.
No, the EDL is English Defence League. Racist.
Okay, well, what about the German flag? Is that directly?
Well, the German flag is not a Nazi flag. That's a different flag.
Still German.
No,
just
German flag's German
something.
people. A Nazi flag's Nazi people.
It's ridiculous that you can't now that has turned into some sort of symbol of hate. It's insane.
I would see the St. George's flag as more offensive than a German flag.
Isn't that terrible?
And
that's the flag of your country, and you think, well, not your country, but
my direct neighbour is an old guy who's Liverpudlian, Scouser, and he's a wicked guy. And during the football, he's got a flagpole. And I didn't know that because I've never noticed it. He put it up for the football and put the St. George's flag, but he does it out of pride for football. He put it up on the football nights. And I was like,
you've just brought up a really good point.
Because I know he's not a scummer. He's a nice guy. He's doing it for that. that was different. But if they do it on a random day that's got
You
no
brought up the perfect point
association,
there, because the last World Cup or the last Euros, everyone had like St George's flags up out their cars. They had them off their front doors. Everything.
in
Everyone
the
went
car, the
super
little flags
patriotic.
on the roof.
Yeah, that was 4 years ago, right? This year, no one. I saw barely any St George's flags.
I saw loads.
To
I saw
contradict
hardly any
myself,
around here.
none of that offends me or concerns me, but large groups of people were doing that, it would concern me, because
Large groups of people were right.
it's not
It's
your,
same group of people.
it's
just with
rarely not
different
your
colour
middle
on a
class
bit of
family
fabric.
waving a flag. It's usually bald people with
Hooligans, yeah.
boots on. If those guys come down my road, you're running out of the
But
way.
if you look at the people that were out and went on London on the weekend, they weren't those people. They were your next door neighbour. They were your milkmen. They were just general blokes. No one was
that's
with
cool.
skinheads and braces and stuff.
Wearing the football outfit, the clothing and stuff like that, I feel that's very different to the flag waving, unless it's all together. Like if I see a football crowd, no issue, not bothered at all.
But can't you just be proud to be English anymore? Like to the point where the cenotaph took down their St George's Cross.
Well,
the point where our Prime Minister won't even wear a poppy.
No, that's crazy though.
Really? What's that?
He took it off.
Who?
Our Prime Minister, Keir Starmer.
That's
removed
ridiculous.
his poppy.
What was the reason?
Didn't want to cause offence.
Is he Irish?
No.
Okay.
But put it this way, Sadiq Khan has now banned cabbies from flying St George's crosses in their windows.
Okay, so
Because they're distracting, apparently.
Give you some context. Okay, so I never wear a poppy. I'm Scottish. It's got nothing to do with being Scottish. I just never really wore a poppy, and it's got nothing to be disrespectful. It's just something I've never done. It's not a political statement. It's just something I've never done. It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't not mean anything. It's irrelevant to me, and that sounds horrible because I know it's about war and it's about
it means a big deal.
respecting all the people that went to war.
Because those people are the reason we're here now.
If you watch the Welcome to Wrexham documentary on Disney, which is fantastic, there's an episode where they get this Irish football player who's a very good football player. He played for Wolves and some other teams, I think it was, and he's in front of the whole world now because the whole world is watching Wrexham, not just Wrexham fans, and they're doing the national anthem at the beginning, and they're all wearing poppies and shit like that. And he's from Belfast, and he's standing there, not singing, no poppy, and
I respect that because
it creates a media storm because the British that wear the poppies went over to Britain and killed a lot of his family for fucking no reason.
Yeah, but I get that.
So
that's perfectly fine.
No reason.
But this is the leader of our country. But
has Keir Starmer got any? That there must be more to it than that. Also, I don't think. I mean, I get it, but also, now should political parties take a side?
Oh, here we go. No, sorry. Here's the news from.
Or should they remain neutral?
Well, let's say the Telegraph, a relatively decent news. It's not a red header, is it? It's a decent newspaper.
Which one? Sorry.
The Telegraph. It's not a red header. It's not the Sun. It's not the Mail. Starmer sparks row after failing to wear. Sorry, he didn't even take it off. He never wore it. For Islamophobia awareness video.
Well, that's for a specific video, though.
Doesn't matter though.
Yes, it does.
No people, no Muslims care.
Important factor in an argument.
The argument is the people that get offended are the people that aren't getting offended.
If he's wearing it for the public, for the British public, for a statement, great. If he's doing something specific to the Dublin audience or Belfast audience, he's going to take it off.
What you tend to find is, when we do these things like, oh, you can't, they banned news reporters from wearing a cross because it can be offensive. Yes.
Is it because it causes offence, or is it?
Yeah. No. This is the problem. It doesn't actually cause offence. We just think it will cause offence. If you actually ask most people in the street, there's a really good video, actually, some guy did, and I'll share it. When people do this whole cultural appropriation, like white people can't have braids, it's like, well, in reality, it's called a Nordic braid. White people had it first.
Exactly.
But there's this guy that goes around to all these different countries, right? There's one, he dresses like a Chinaman, doesn't do the eyes and that, but he does the hat and he does the thing. And he dressed like a Chinaman. And he's talking to this guy in China, and he's like, is this offensive? And the guy's like, no, It's like cool that you're like sort of embracing our culture. And he'll go to like other countries and do like he goes to Mexico with like a sombrero and like the poncho. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Is this offensive?" And the guy's like, "No, it's cool. Like you're embracing our culture." And then they
Or
ask
goes to Britain.
the British white people if
Yeah,
it's
of
offensive.
course.
They're like, "Yeah, you can't do that. It's so offensive, so racist." And like, no, it's not.
Again, that's the problem. I think from everything what I said, if someone listened to a snippet of my voice right now, they'd probably think that I'm a bit sensitive or I'm a bit too neutral. But to be honest, I don't give a fuck about that sort of
People
stuff
just have
personally.
chips on their shoulder because they've got nothing going
I
on in life.
The only important thing is context and what's the word? Had it in my head a second ago. Context and the meaning behind it. If you do it in good faith, yeah, respect. If you do it for fun and you're not taking the piss, crack on.
Yeah, why not? Because most people don't care.
I know it's not as
got,
sensitive. If you wore a kilt tomorrow, started doing like Scottish dancing around my street, but you're in support of us, fucking I'll go out and shake your hand.
well, my name is Scottish, so I've got every right to do that, Kevin.
If you prance around and throw Scotch eggs at my window, I'm kicking your head in. It's the context.
I think is it Jimmy Carr or Ricky Gervais put it the best way. It's a very small group of people with a very loud voice that have nothing going on in their lives.
No, I disagree. I think it's a small group of people with a normal amount of voice that the media use to amplify to create an argument.
I've always said people are easily offended, have nothing going on in their life.
But guys, here's the other thing, right? We're in a world where it's a magic trick. If you create enough controversy on this side, it's like, look at this, and you're not looking at this hand, and this hand is what's absolutely messing up the world right now. But we're all so distracted.
It's all distraction.
Yeah, we're so distracted.
We're currently living in a world where you're not allowed to say a man can't have a baby.
Well, yeah, but this is
what?
The scariest thing is freedom of speech is being censored.
That's why I love
people.
Twitter.
Anxiety is going through the roof because people are so scared to offend that people are overthinking everything they say in any given situation.
Yeah, I think there's.
I was going to say, when we grew up, bro. When we grew up, you had jokes like there's an Englishman, an Irishman, and a Scotsman, or a Frenchman, and you can't have any of that now. But when I see the thing is, when
the Scottish person was usually the butt of the joke, and I laughed.
Yeah, but this is the thing as well. It's like when I grew up with that, I never saw that as taking pisses out of countries. It made me think, I'll go to Ireland or I'll go to France, or it's like you're saying, it's embracing other countries, bringing it in. But now it's like, you can't wear a sombrero.
It's also like the target and what comedians say. Like if you're kicking down, you're a bit of a twat. If you're kicking up, then good. But I think when we were kids and we were making these jokes, and to be fair, we probably said many racist, many misogynistic jokes.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Anti-Semitic and anti-gay things, because that's the way people spoke, and that's not an excuse. That's just the way you grow up. Like we said in the last episode, when we grew up with Schwarzenegger and all these action heroes that kissed the girl and beat people up and didn't ask questions, that felt normal. Whereas today, people are teaching the kids respect and better things. I think it's amazing, and I don't think I ever overstepped the boundaries when I was a kid, but there's definitely jokes we made that was like...
Yeah, they're probably very inappropriate. Yeah.
Oh, dear. But the intention was to be funny, not to take the piss out of someone, if that makes sense. If there was a gay person in class, I would never take the piss out of that person. Never.
Yeah.
I'd still make a gay joke, but not at his expense, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
but the things that we have loads of gay friends and that, and we all just mess about. None of them give a shit, do they?
When we were in their teenagers, if something was a bit lame, you go, gay. And I was hesitant to say that.
Classic Leslie Chow meme, it goes, ha, gay.
Yes.
I use that all the time.
That's normal. That's the sort of thing that we used to say back then. I get
but then we'd crack jokes and we'd say, can two guys hang out in a friend way, not a gay way? Do you know when people used to just say that? Yeah. But it was like, but then it's like, for me, it was like the encouraging element of guys spending time together and it not necessarily being judged in any way.
But and the irony as well, back then we used to be. Let me phrase this properly. I was going to say we used to be gay,
Careful, Kev.
but what we used to indulge that stereotype for a joke. Like if me and you were hanging out,
Yeah,
it would be like we're going for a man
But the
date.
thing is, though, the chip on shoulders will find that offensive. 99% of people won't.
yeah, but
Again,
it's in Shaun of the Dead.
It's
in
the intention and the context. If it's
in Shaun of the Dead when he goes like, "God, I missed you, dude," and he's like, "Gay," and it's like the idea of like it's even in that film, and you think of the time that film was released. It was just
and it's
like
again it's his ability where he has to make a joke. He can't go, "I love you too, dude." He's got to go gay because he feels uncomfortable. Because we were as men, we were stifled in our emotions, so we had to take the piss out.
Exactly.
When we were teenagers, I'd never told either of you I love you. Right today, now I can say I love you both, and it's fine.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful.
I'm gay. It's
big gay.
But also, oh, he's gone now.
No, I'm here.
I was going to say, but what's very clever about the Shaun of the Dead thing, they go full circle because at the end of it, he says, he goes, well, you know, he says something about you're just down because you miss your boyfriend, and he goes, he's not my boyfriend, and he goes, here's your beer. It might be a bit warm. The barrel was off, sweetheart, and he goes, cheers, babe. And it's like they have that playful thing, and it's like
we did that all the time. We used to joke like that.
But I mean, it's done in a warm way. It's not like throwing stones.
Our generation
making it
can take a joke and don't take it too seriously. It's the new little kids, the little just up oil brats that don't know what the real world is. Like they just get offended by everything because they've got nothing going on in their life. So they have to jump on every bandwagon, whether it be Black Lives Matter, Just Stop Oil, you know, it's always the same people and things. They've got nothing going on in their lives. They've got so much time on
comment. I believe both those things are good things.
It's like the lady that used to turn up to Curry's and complain about, you know, the kettle doesn't work as a good iron.
Remember, Mr. Ban for me. We were like, you're banned. Mr. Ban for me. Remember her? She'd come in with a used kettle and be like, it doesn't work. Like,
yeah, that's what I mean. And she'd come in all the time to complain about things. But like you said, she had nothing else going on. And it's like, I feel for people like that. Rather than her going for a walk or meeting a friend for a coffee and a slice of cake, she literally wakes up and goes, what can I complain about? What random object can I take back?
They got nothing going on in their life. Do you know why I don't wake up and complain? It's
heartbreaking. Who wants to go to a store and complain about random objects because you don't have that interaction with other people in your life, that you'd rather just argue at a desk about something that's an inanimate object?
It's like these Just Stop Oil people, like they're inherently actually a really bad advert for private education because they're all fucking idiots. Like they are so stupid. Like, you know this Cressida, of course she's called Cressida. That's a Just Stop Oil person. One, none of them have ever spent a day in the real world. None of them have paid a bill. None of them have like grown up and they're all like toffs and rich people. That Cressida, who's like 22, is now in prison for 4 years, right? After finishing her first year of uni, right? Bearing in mind, right, here's the irony. Did you see the speech her mum gave on TV?
No.
Right. This is hilarious, and this shows how stupid posh people are. Right. Cressida Greffin went to prison for what?
4 years at the age of 22. I'm just Googling as we speak.
For what reason? Holding up thousands of people, making people miss funerals, weddings, doctor's appointments, surgeries. The list goes on, right? All because she wants us to stop using fossil fuel. Do you know what her mum said in her speech? Cressida will now not get to go to her brother's wedding in Canada. So she stopped thousands of people to go in places. Now her mum's complaining that she can't go somewhere whilst burning thousands of litres of fossil fuel to go to Canada. That's how stupid these people are.
It's so hypocritical, though.
They're so stupid, aren't they?
But I right, okay, so this is the hypocrisy. I agree with the Just Stop Oil to a degree. Like, that sort of stuff needs to be reduced, global war, blah, 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 blah. but they're going about it the wrong way. If you want to advertise doing something, yes, you've got to kick up a fuss, and yes, you've got to have placards and shit like that. But actually stopping traffic, you're just making enemies of yourself.
But
and I support them, and I think they're idiots.
When a car is stopped, it gives out 3 times the emissions of when it's driving.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point of it is to stop.
Are actually bad for the environment.
I know.
Didn't they throw animal blood at Victoria, like a Victoria Beckham kind of?
That was like in the year 2000.
Yeah, I know.
But what I think would be an hilarious thing to do.
But my point is, they did it because it was a name and they knew they could jump off the back of it. They didn't just go to any situation. They went where there's a name so they could jump off it. But also, it looks like they take too much.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm glad they did.
Have you not seen when
but they take too much pride.
When Piers Morgan's like, why don't you go to China or Russia? Because their emissions are way worse. And they're like, oh, whoop. But the 2 things I love the most about Just Stop Oil was, 1, wouldn't it be funny if everyone started a crowdfund to go to this Cressida Grethen's brother's wedding? 1, stop everyone from going, and 2, just throw orange paint all over everyone. and 2, did you see the guys that infiltrated Just Stop Oil?
Drew looks like he's trying to find a poltergeist that's just entered his room.
Drew, did you see the guys that infiltrated Just Stop Oil? It was so funny.
No.
They got in with them and worked out where their town meeting was going to be, and it was in this big extravagant hall with like a 200-foot ceiling. So they got loads of rape alarms on helium balloons, let them all off, and just let the balloons go off, and just left.
Wow.
Have some of that.
Smart.
But they're idiots. They're just idiots. They're dumb idiots that don't know what they're talking about. Because whenever they're questioned, they're on the same lines as the Trump haters. When they're asked why, they're like, it's like when they see. I saw this video the other day about these people walking the streets with these placards saying "Let the refugees in," and this guy's got a clipboard. And he's like, oh, I'm doing this thing where you can register to have a refugee, stay at your house. And every single one of them's like, well, I haven't got space, or oh, I'm renting, or oh, I've got this. They've all got an excuse. It's like, no, he's like, where are they going to go then? Like, you're like doing this big thing. And he's like, where are they going to go? And there's another guy with this like to the river, to the sea, like the Palestine thing. And the guy's like, what does that mean? And he's like, oh, I just got the sign from over there. And it's like, these people are idiots. Like, they don't know what's going on. They're like, marching for things they have no clue about.
Our news feed, you've got to remember, is that we're all in our own bubbles. The stuff you click on that's pro-Trump is cookied. Recycling. You're not going to see a negative Trump.
I look on the opposite thing. I look at anti, and no one can come up with a reason. The stuff
I see,
it's like, why? And they're like,
because the annoying thing is, because of the Trump shooting, and I was interested in that, finding out how it happened and how the fuck that guy got in. I watched a bunch of Trump stuff on YouTube. Now I can't get on fucking YouTube without a pro-Trump thing.
Look at anti-Trump stuff.
No, I'm getting all pro-Trump things, and I can understand.
Google anti, because none of them have a reason. It's ridiculous.
But I can understand why people like Trump, because I'm getting the pro-Trump stuff.
I look at both sides. I Google anti and I look at the anti ones. No, I do. You Google anti ones. All these people with these little placards, they have no. They're like, oh, he's racist. Why? Like the other day, so I was watching one, and it's like the girl was like, "Are you Republican?" She's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, you're a white supremacist," and she was like, "Why am I a white supremacist?" And she was like, "Because you are." So, well, what's the reason? She's like, "Okay, well, you're a white supremacist," and she's like, "Why?" It's like, "Because you are." So that's your argument. It's like there's no argument.
Well,
it's like a bunch of stupid people. The problem is they've got rid of bloody Biden, who's an imbecile.
Let's stick off politics. We keep going on to politics.
Why do we go to politics?
Politics section.
Politics spoils everything.
Anyway, did you see?
Keir Starmer's gun.
Pardon?
I said Keir Starmer's a gun.
I'm going to stop saying what I was going to say.
If I say one last thing, if I see one more video of a politician in a pub with a bloody pint, it's like, God damn, shut up. They're like, I'm just a normal bloke down the pub with a pint. It's like, shut up, you knob.
But this is the thing. They know nothing about the word normal because they live such a crazy life.
Real life.
Yeah. They don't understand, like, suffering or a bad day in the life of.
No. And they pretend, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, but that the irony is that is a massive insult. Like, the thing that upset me was during the cost of living, when they made these really like mockery adverts about like just being so, what's the word, where they make light of people's situations. Like, did you know that if you close the window, if you close the curtains, it will keep more heat in? Did you know that you can turn down your tumble dryer at this rate? And it's like,
What about when
yeah,
Rishi Sunak was like, yeah...
Things down.
Can you not remember when Rishi Sunak said, oh, yeah, I didn't have it all grown up. I didn't have Sky TV.
Sky TV.
Oh, what a horror. Some people didn't have homes. Like, you
Yeah, I
didn't
know.
have Sky TV. What most people in the 90s didn't have
Mate,
Sky
most
TV.
people didn't have roofs over their head. All they saw was Sky, and he wants Sky TV. Jesus. It's a crazy world.
Do you want a couple of little
Films?
Talk about movies. Oh, I watched a couple of films, actually. Can I bring them up?
Do you want? All right.
I
Do you
watched
want to tell me?
I watched two really bad ones deliberately,
Sounds
and I watched
awful.
one I've never
Can't wait.
seen that I really enjoyed.
What are the two films?
No, three, Kev, in total. Two bad ones, one good.
Yeah, what's the two films?
The two bad ones were ones I've seen before and I love them. Johnny Mnemonic,
Mm.
Keanu Reeves.
which is Keanu Reeves, Dolph Lundgren, Henry Rollins, and ironically, actually, what's the rapper? Ice-T was in both of the bad ones.
Oh.
And I forgot. Really bad film, but quite entertaining. And the other one was Tank Girl.
Oh, fuck. Tank.
Again, with
VHS.
Ice-T.
Is he?
Very good. I just love it. It's just a fun film.
They could reboot that. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I like all the comic books, sort of like...
That's got Anya Taylor-Joy written all over it.
Yeah, and then the good one I watched, which I'd never actually seen, which is an old film, you'll probably tell me off, is The Strangers.
Yeah,
No,
but
we're talking about in the messages to you, saying that was the best one, the 2008.
I would say it's a direct rip-off of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
But no, stop. To be specific, is it the new one that just came out called Chapter 1, or is
No,
it the
it's the
2008
original.
one?
Yes,
Where
the
he
good one.
escapes,
Pilot.
jumps in the van, and the bloke's chasing him with a thing. So identical to Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
But that's not the scary bit. That's not the good bit. The good bit is all the lead up, where it's just scenes panning and there's someone in the background. You
It was a good film.
miss.
It was a rip-off, but it was a very good movie. I really enjoyed it.
I mean, it
That was
ripped off the end scene, not the film. The film was
The
its
whole
own film.
basis was kind of like, instead of going to the house, they went to the holiday club. It's like, and the mental
Wait,
people
isn't
were
that-
there. It's like,
Is this
but
the
it was
one?
really
'cause
good.
My mate was telling me about it. Like, we were talking about it and overanalyzing it. He said that's the one where the guy has the shotgun, right? And he runs out to try and get them, and he gets killed. Yeah.
No. The girl has a shotgun in the end in the police car.
Yeah. But that's the bit. Sorry, maybe I got confused with the girl and the guy. But we were saying that she should have just stayed in the room because she's got a fucking shotgun, so she would have won. But she goes out to investigate, and they know the outside better than her because they've been scoping the place.
I'll throw it out there. Johnny Mnemonic has the stupidest scene in any film ever. There's a point in the scene where the main bad guy is in the room with him. He's pointing a gun at him. Instead of shooting him, he runs out the door and runs away. It's like...
Some people don't want to kill people. Not everyone.
But there's so many movies. He's already killed 5 people before this time, at least. But there's so many films like that where, like, the protagonist is like in the room with the hero, and they have an option to kill him, and they decide not to.
Yeah, but that's like in Austin Powers, where he says, "Why don't we go back to when he's a baby and just?" And they're like, "Oh, you can't do that." And it's like, "Well, yeah, but why don't we go back to when, you know?"
It's just stupid. Like, I remember I watched it last night for the first time in like probably 10 years, and it was like well before VR, and the special effects are quite good. And it's a really clever movie. They could definitely like redo it. It's really cool.
Well, do you want to hear like a couple of like new things that you may or may not have heard?
No.
Cool. So,
This is the movie news.
I knew that was a response. So cool. Obviously, we mentioned previously about Doctor Doom being Robert Downey Juniors, plural. But did you hear the boys news?
Ooh.
I did finish watching The Boys, by the way, the other day. Last
Did you?
episode, excellent.
How good was that ending?
There is one thing that was questionable, though.
What, the fact that she screamed finally? She made a noise?
No, the biggest question mark on the whole thing.
Go on.
What did the actress that played Starlight, something Moriarty, do to her face?
That's all over social media. That's all
She
everyone
looks
talks
like
about.
Skeletor. Like, there's a
She
scene where
does
she's
claim-
crying. But there's a scene where she's crying, and it's the most ridiculous. Like, it's like a Tiny Tears toy crying. Like, there's no facial movement at all.
She claims that she's not had no work done to her face, and let's keep it good. Like, who are we to judge? If you want to do that, you do that. But
Well,
she
Judge
does
has got
definitely
eyes.
look different.
That's kind of like saying The Rock doesn't work out.
Can I say though, how cool is it? Spoiler alert! When she is like, there's the two of them in the room. She kind of gives like a kind of Joker performance. She's so dark and scary. She's such a great actor when she's playing.
ruined her career because now she can't change her face.
But to be fair, she is a good actor, because when I was watching that, at no point did I question that wasn't her when it was someone else pretending to be her. I just went with it. But I had to go, oh yeah, fuck, that's not her.
Yeah, but they were talking about, the director was saying he had an idea, and they talked about, for the character of the shapeshifter, he says just kind of like be quite cold and be slow. And when you watch it, and because I rewatched that episode 7 with Sarah again the other day, and you can see it. It's brilliant the way she changes, because she's very, as Starlight, she's very animated, but when she plays the other one, she just goes, and then it's just boom, just very quite cold. Apart from when she's when she's trying to be Starlight around Huey's character, she can turn on a sixpence, and it's absolutely brilliant to watch. It's fucking brilliant.
I think it's going to be excellent. The next one, it's going to be pure carnage, you know.
Well, that's it. So the ending obviously brings in, what's it called, Gen V, into it, because that's the. Have you seen? You've all seen Gen V, right?
Yeah, Gen V was amazing.
The other series. So they're the ones that.
That's where they built the actual.
Yeah. So that's the boys.
Virus.
That's Gen V. So episode series 4 or whatever it is. Then Gen V's there. Then series 5 that we just watched, and Gen V series 2 is coming out next, which is going to bring on to that, and then the final The Boys season 6 is coming after that. But also the further announcement is that, you know, Jensen Ackles, who plays Soldier Boy, which is Homelander's. That's technically Homelander's dad, even though they look the same age, just because they don't age. Yeah, it's Homelander's dad.
He's not dead in the last one, don't they?
Yeah, so he's only in smattering bits and bobs. But there is a new series after The Boys and after Gen V finishes. It's going to be called Voight Rises, and it's going to go back to the 50s or 60s. And Jason Ackles, who is Soldier Boy, is going to look exactly the same, because he has not aged for 100 years.
Jensen, don't be rude.
What did I say?
Jason.
No, I didn't. I said Jensen.
You said Jason. It's Jensen. It's Jensen.
Anyway, he's coming back, and it's going to be a series based around Soldier Boy called Voight Rises. And here's one for James, even though he hasn't seen the original. Can you see that? Use your eyes, James.
The hell is that?
Read it.
Yeah, it's on Apple. It's on Apple.
In a violent nature.
No,
Still not available to stream online.
What's below the word nature?
I can't see it because my face is in the way.
Well, that's your stupid face fault.
Does it say 2? Ooh, crafty.
Yeah. In a Violent Nature 2 has been announced already. It's starting in works with Shudder. So that's good. Oh, and also, I didn't realise, because again, I don't read the comics.
In a Violent Nature is the best kept secret in cinema history. You cannot find that film to stream illegally at all.
What's Drew showing? Where's that?
I'm showing In a Violent Nature is going to be on. It's on Apple. It's coming out on
Apple?
August the 12th.
Is it?
Oh,
Apple TV. Yeah, look.
Oh no, I got that notification. Yeah.
so you go back a little bit to Doctor Doom. I didn't realize how powerful he is. There's a clipping here that someone shared about Doctor Doom in the comics. I don't know if you see that. If it shows all right, and it's got
It's a bit pixelated.
what's the purple ball bag chin guy called?
That's the guy from Infinity War, Thanos.
Thanos, and it's got Thanos going up to Doctor Doom saying, "I do not yet, I remain Thanos the Great, and for you that will be enough." And then Doctor Doom punches him in the heart, and Thanos turns into a skeleton. So Doctor Doom is pretty badass. So Thanos is piece of shit compared. The entire Avengers only just beat him, and Doctor Doom could kill him with a punch, basically.
But it's also ironic that Thanos kills Iron Man. And now technically, Robert Downey Jr. comes back and punches one.
There's definitely going to be like a nod to that of some sort, isn't there? What was the other thing?
Yeah.
So, Cobra Kai. Oh, not as matters. I don't think they'll have listened this far, but there's a shout out to Kate, Katie J, Katie P, and Shed, who were meant to be on today's episode, but things were delayed and didn't quite work out. So we're meant to have guests, but it was going to be like 4 or 5 guests at once, which would have been bedlam. So in a way, it's probably a good thing. We'd love to have seen them, but I don't know if it would have worked visually or audio wise.
This is a little nod to obviously next week, which would be the Deadpool one. But after Sarah and I watched Deadpool and Wolverine, she made this amazing dessert, and she purposely. Can you see that? Yeah.
What is it like? Is it like looks like a
it's a
strawberry
fresh blueberry tart. So annoying with the light. Fresh blueberry tart with cream.
Is that X? Is that X-Men?
Yeah.
X, go on, give it to you. Go on, give it to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
you're going to enjoy next week, kids. You're going to enjoy next week.
Right, we didn't.
Can I just show you this random thing as well? This is really cool. This is a chess set.
Go on.
This is a chess set. I'm showing people a chess set that's really random.
Chess or
chess.
A bunch of boobies or pieces?
Pieces.
No, I was thinking a game or like a set of drawers.
Really obscure chess. The game chess. Set. Chess set.
Can you say that once more time?
Chess.
Get the first 800.
Set. But look, I don't know if you can see it that well, but it's basically Batman.
Wait, there's not enough. That's not a proper chess set. There's not enough pieces.
Yeah.
There's not enough squares in between the people.
Hang on, this is really annoying me.
I'm pretty sure there's not enough squares in between the people there. No, there's not enough squares.
But look,
1, 2, 3, 4 squares between people. That's not enough.
Yeah, that's correct. That's
correct. It's Batman and Robin going against Alfred. And
there's not 4 pieces in between 2 people on chess set. I'm going to Google it.
Yeah, there is. There is.
And Gordon, Detective Gordon or whatever.
Gordon Ramsay versus Batman.
Yeah, and then you've got Bane and the Joker.
Stop that because I can't see that at all. I can't. Just lots of blue blobs.
I will share it. You can share it. You can share it. I'll share it with you, and you can share it on the thing.
Yeah, there's 4 people. Yeah, you're spot on. Yeah, I was right.
There is 4.
You are.
Yeah, well done. Yeah. There's one film to mention we forgot to mention. Well, we didn't forget to mention. We talked about political correctness and racism for like half an hour for some reason. I don't know what the fuck we discussed. But the film I watched, and I think Drew watched, I don't know if James did, is the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare on Prime.
Yeah, I did.
Is that?
It's Guy Ritchie's new one.
Film with what's his face? Henry Cavill. and the
Cavill.
big guy that plays Reacher.
Yeah, Jack Reacher guy. Yeah,
I enjoyed it, and it had Ian Fleming in it, and obviously Henry Cavill was the character, the real person.
Ian Fleming's in the
Ian
guy
Fleming
that wrote Bond.
based.
Yeah.
Ian Fleming based Bond on this real person in this film, so you get to see it.
But,
I mean, it's a dramatization; it's over the top. None of that happened, but
yeah, it's ridiculous. But the girl character is brilliant as well, and she was from a TV series of Dusk Till Dawn.
More importantly, she was in actual programs like Ambulance.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Did you say Ambulance?
Yeah, I did
yeah,
say
she was
that.
an Ambulance.
Yeah, but she's brilliant in Dusk. She's brilliant in Dusk Till Dawn, though. That's why I'm mentioning it. Dusk Till Dawn was a TV series, and she was fucking brilliant in it. But
you want to hear a random Ian Fleming fact?
And Baby Driver as well.
Yeah. But the only problem I had with that film, and I said this to my dad, and he laughed. I said, at no point did you ever feel like there was not enough tension, because you knew they were always going to win. Like, they never missed a bullet. They never missed an explosion. There was no conflict, because they were always so good at their job. From the point of view
It's a silly film. It's a silly film. Don't read into
Ian Fleming facts.
No, but it's not about reading into it. It's just creating something called drama, where you create conflict to make it more interesting for an audience, rather than it being a pissing match where they're always going to win.
You know what?
Again, it's Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie's better if he does comedy or something like that, like comedy violence.
Yeah, but mate, in Lock, Stock and Snatch, you've got conflict. You've got problems where the characters are like, "Oh, I fucked up there, and we're gonna have to get our way out of that one." The only part in the film they had was when they go, "We can't sink the boats, so we'll have to steal them." Yeah. And that was the one moment where you went, "Oh, okay, cool. It might be a challenge." But he's like, "Well, that's 15 Germans each. Okay, yeah, don't be greedy."
It wasn't really a challenge. It was like, "Oh, we can't do Plan B. We'll do Plan D."
Yeah,
and
you know what Ian Fleming wrote?
They were based on real people,
right?
Yeah, that's the point of the film, James. That's the entire point of the film.
Admiralty Arch.
What? In what?
Admiralty Arch is where Ian Fleming wrote the James Bond novels.
I don't know what word you're saying and what you mean.
Admiralty Arch in London is where Ian Fleming wrote the James Bond novels. It looks out onto Buckingham Palace. They're currently converting that into the best hotel in London, a 6-star hotel that you can go and stay in.
Oh, the Arch. Yeah. On
Admiralty Arch, yeah. That's what Ian
on
Fleming
Whitehall,
was.
the mall. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been through that a million times. They're
converting that into like a 6-star hotel.
I've driven through that up to Buckingham Palace and gone round and roundabout. I didn't even know that was a building. Well, I know it was a building because there's windows in it, but I assumed it was like functionality, not a thing.
It's a secret building.
Do you know who he's on about, Drew? That one. The Mall.
That's cool.
So Trafalgar Square is the other side and then straight to Buckingham Palace.
That's a hotel you can stay in next year.
Well, it'll cost you a few pennies.
Yeah, that's not happening, is it?
We should do a podcast.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And we should we'll rent room 007 and we'll
Right. James, you have a camera.
Mm-hmm.
Next time you meet Drew, can you take your camera and get a couple of portraits and get him to take a couple of portraits of you? So we've got a few. And then send them to me so I can copy the style you've done. Like, let me know your approximate settings and lens, and I'll try and do something similar of me. And then we can actually have some good photos. Because they're all fucking selfies on mobiles that are grainy.
Yeah, it's true. It's really hard, guys, to make us look sexy.
I'm saying no for a reason.
Why?
My camera's on eBay.
Why?
Because I want to get a better one.
Fine. But use the better one.
Sell the original.
Also, your camera is currently not sold, so use it until you get it sold.
Yeah, but that's rude. It's got like 5 days left. You want a beard? Go beard.
Do you say you want a beard? Grow a beard?
I want a beard. Go and beard.
I was just like, how does a beard have any connection?
Yeah, it's on eBay, so I currently don't have one. So
It's like, sorry, you can't buy this. You don't have a beard. It was like, what? I want it. No, you have to have a beard if you're going to buy this.
Anyway, these episodes are getting longer, which makes my job of editing them even tougher. So
yeah, but there's times where we text you, Kev. We text you saying, should we end it? You're like, no, we'll find some gold here. And you're looking for gold.
It's probably my fault, but still. But I'm probably not going to post any clips this week because of reasons.
People don't want to see it.
Well, I think, yeah, that as well, potentially.
I think we've established that, James. I think we've established that.
Well, next week we can say that we're going to have a special guest on next week. We can either remove the word special or highlight it because it's going to be Gareth. So
no, keep it special. It's the Paralympics next week.
Oh, Gareth can come and talk on, see if he got a bronze or not.
No.
So yeah, Gareth will be on next week. So if you guys have any subjects that you think will be appropriate for him to discuss, he's going to go see Deadpool this week. But I don't want to talk about Deadpool for an entire episode, but we can bring it up.
Maybe we can talk about beard oil.
Possibly. Before we go then, is there actually anything coming on the cinema the next week? Because it's been, apart from that, it's been dry for a couple of weeks.
Surely the bloody thingy's coming out. The
Trap.
Aliens in August.
Isn't Trap next?
August is next week.
It is. Good point also. Long legs.
Normally comes after July.
Beetlejuice.
There's a film called Zog and the Gruffalo. That's
can't wait. I've seen that already. It's on Prime.
What the hell is that? Babes Unlimited Screening? What's that?
Can't see.
It's cool.
It's called
One
Babes.
Night Kev. Oh. Yeah, great. We're probably not going to see that. Zog and the Gruffalo is like a Prime thing from a book.
40th anniversary of the Never-Ending Story.
Oh, yeah. Sick. I want to see that. But that's not an handover. Atreyu, no.
Borderlands is out next week. That's the film for next week.
Oh, I do want to see that. That's out on the
8th. I've got very little interest, but it seems fun and explosion-y.
It looks very Mad Maxy.
You're correct.
It looks like Mad Max meets Deadpool.
So what day is today? So next week,
Thursday,
so not this weekend, the following weekend, you've got Borderlands on Thursday and Trap on Friday.
Yep.
So, Drew, what's your plans? Is Sarah up for them, or is it a James one, or is it an individual one?
She messaged me out. She said she doesn't want to go to the cinema with Drew ever again.
Sorry, what?
Probably just tried to grope her or something really inappropriate.
Yeah, Drew, your girlfriend or wife, whatever,
Drew,
doesn't want to go to the cinema ever
you and
again.
Sarah
so
want to
Thursday,
watch
Friday, we're watching Trap and whatever he said.
Borderlands, and the following week is Alien. So actually, next week,
Sarah and I are doing Alien Romulus, but I can do anything else for James.
What about Trap?
Yeah, I'll do Trap.
Trap and Borderlands. Is that Sarah or is that James?
Borderlands. Man film.
Borderlands and Trap is this week.
I don't know, man. I'll ask Sarah.
I messaged the manager of the Odeon to try and blag his Minion cutouts.
You should, man.
Stop the press. Pulp Fiction 30th anniversary on the 24th.
Well, I can watch that at home. Why would I pay to go and watch that at the cinema?
It's
I
on
can
the
watch
big
it
screen,
on my
dude.
iPad right now.
I'm going to see that.
Or I can watch it on my UHD TV with a soundbar. Or I can watch it even better in VR, which is better than the cinema.
Definitely not. I'm going to see that. I only watched it
definitely is, Kev. You watch a film in VR, your mind will be blown.
I'm going to see that in the cinema because, like certain films, you need to see in the cinema if you haven't seen it. Like we're too young to have seen Alien or Exorcist or whatever or The Crow in the cinema. So I've watched all those in the cinema when it's been like the 30th, 40th, 50th release, and it's been epic. Like seeing The Exorcist in the cinema and seeing the original Alien in the cinema. I saw that. Where was I? I was in London. I can't remember. It was impeccable. It was a whole different world when you do that. So I'm going to go see that 100%. Right. organise between yourself, Borderlands and Trap next week. Don't have to see both. Pick one. Probably Trap's the most interesting one to watch. Shall we end? Because Drew stopped speaking and James is full of so much food that he physically cannot speak.
At this point.
He's fucking popping Pringles, man. Like, yeah.
Oh, Kev.
Well,
give me your address. I'm going to send you a VR headset to watch movies in. It'll blow your mind.
Deal.
Actually, there is some interesting thing. Kev and I did our first live through Rage Whale today.
Your live chat about.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
What did you say?
Nothing.
You were busy. So, yeah, next time, come on the live. Apparently, Gareth messaged. Did you see the message?
Sort myself out. Like 5 o'clock is like work time.
What? Did you see the message on Ragewell that I posted of Gareth's response to the live?
No.
Drew.
Every time I see him, I just like start a GoFundMe.
Did you listen to it? Listen to it. Listen to it then. Fuck it, I'll play it.
What have you sent?
Right.
What do you mean?
Shush for a second. This is Gareth's response to me and Drew popping on live to introduce the fact that we're going to talk about Deadpool. And we've got a Deadpool spoiler special next week. If you're listening to this, it's on Thursday.
At this point. Like, it's just here. Not even fucking plugged in. Like, Jesus.
Sure.
Do you want to be in this video? I say yes. That's fun. Live red trails.
You said do that again. That was fun.
We were talking about how Gambit was on Deadpool Wolverine. That's basically what Gareth just did there. He channeled Gambit from Deadpool Wolverine. It's like he had a stroke mid thing. It's like, what's going on? He's like,
that's the best ending. You can't beat that, Kev. You can't beat that.
What are you doing? Gareth, what are you doing? So, big pardon. So, brilliant. Noise.
Catch us next week when we're going to have real life Gareth Gambit on the show.
Oh, God. I'm ill. I've got COVID. I'm going to bath.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for listening to Your Movie Podcast.